Yeah, so these are the two winners, guys, of the group stage so far. Whoever wins this one will secure the first slot out of the group, and then of course everyone else has to scrap and scrape and fight to see who will get the other the second slot. Let me just there we go.
Get more tempo music.
Oh, I should have queued it up. I didn't think about it. I'll do it for game number 2 for sure. But
Wow, you slacker.
I'm sorry, Penguin. What are you doing? Are you streaming right now? I didn't think so. So shut up. All right, spawning in the lower right corner of the map, having gotten out of Group A, or sorry, his first wins here in Group A with a 2-0 start. We'll see if he can carry 3 here against Tempo, but spawning in the lower right corner of the map, the orange Zerg player, Opiee.
And his opponent spawning in the top left spawn location of Star Station. We've got our pink Zerg player playing for IVD Gaming. It is Tempo,
who gets so many bonus points for style, having gotten Nidus Arms in that last game. Like, whether you're doing it because you're ahead or tactically you think it's a good move, in my books, you always win my heart by going for any player that uses nukes or time warps, or sorry, not time warps, nukes or Nidus Arms. Like, you're immediately in Rifkin's cool books.
all right, good to know. I'll keep that in mind if I ever get cast by you again.
Alright, I'm losing this show match. What do? Oh, I know. I'll just throw like 9 Nidus Worms.
Hey, I will get coolness points, right? If I get 9 Nidus worms.
Super.
What if I make 3 Nidus networks?
What if you'll
and do simultaneous 3-prong Nidus?
I would probably just have to flip a table. I don't know. Like, the excitement would take control of my body, and adrenaline would dictate my actions. But anyways, another CVZ, guys. For those who haven't seen the group and you're wondering, like, wow, what's going on? You've already seen all the players at this point. There's 4 players per group, and there's 3 Zergs in this one. So I hope you're a fan of ZVZ because there's going to be quite a few of them, regardless of how things end up going. But for now, Tempo and Opiee have chosen not drastically different openers, just slightly different times on them.
Yeah, and basically, this will end up evening itself out very easily in the next minute or so. And what ends up happening is that you get the extra creep spread, and you get the earlier natural larva from the natural base being up earlier for Opiee, but Tempo gets an earlier queen, which kind of makes up for it.
You know, what I'd really like to see, too, at some point in this series, maybe not, obviously, this game was too late, but 13 and 13 gas. Probably my favorite opening for ZVZ in a first game of a best of 3, because it allows you to be really aggressive without the super duper all-in attachment that Banelings tie into it. If you just go for that, like, that Speedling opener.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry, one sec. I thought I saw something really weird, but no, I didn't.
Okay.
Can you tell it's 4 a.m., 5 a.m.?
Well, anyways, my segue off of that is, like, anytime you open the series as the aggressor, especially in the lower leagues, and for like, the great thing about the Ascended StarCraft League, I gotta be honest, guys, I don't know a whole lot, like, I'm not super familiarized with it, I haven't memorized the rule books or handbooks or anything like that, but it provides a sort of competitive environment for people at these lower leagues. So, one of the biggest things any pro player will tell you is it's not about the skill set or the skill cap that becomes a problem, but it's like your nerves, the tournament jitters, as it were. And that's going to be really present here, especially for these guys. Now, Tempo's actually competed in tournaments in the past, so maybe not for him, but for a player like Opiee, if Tempo comes at him super aggressive in game 1, that's absolutely going to put him on, like, the super defensive for game number 2.
Yeah, Tempo is a guy who, as you said, has played in a lot of, like, when he was in Platinum League, he used to play a lot of those Bronze to Platinum tournaments, Platinum-only tournaments, stuff like that, and I'm sure he still does play tournaments every now and then. He really likes the competitive atmosphere. And Opiee, though, is not somebody who I know about. Like, he may also play in those tournaments, but I'm just not sure. So what I do like for Opiee is that he has open gas lists, which means he has extra queens, and he's using those extra queens to go hunt overlords.
Yeah, I guess being back on Star Station is going to be a bit of a reminder of how much open dead space there is for a couple of these players, as the Overlord does get sniped off there for Tempo. Gonna lose the Ling fight too, unfortunately. In full retreat. But this is that same problem we saw presented earlier, where look at this. Tempo's vision. He's got nada.
Absolutely nothing. And, I mean, there is an Overlord up to the north side, but I like the positioning in that, because then, like, obviously if you have an Overlord, like, by the Watchtower, then the one over to this one over to the top right shows if he goes with the Lings the other direction, but now there is no Overlord by the Watchtower, so Opiee can just run through the middle of the map completely unscouted. And Tempo is trying to spread out some more Overlords, which I do like. He's actually making a lot of Lings right now, 12 Lings, maybe to go for a bit of a poke, try to get some map control, but he won't be able to do anything here. As Opiee, he's got 2 Evolution Chambers, he's got a Spine, he's got a Roach Warren.
Just actually aborted a lot of those.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen a Zerg player cancel units being built in a long time. A lot of the times it's just kind of like, well, I already invested the larva into it.
Yeah,
Who cares
exactly.
about the minerals?
It's pretty rare to cancel units from that are already being made just because it's not worth it, really. Like, you can always find a use for the unit, but Temp0 opting to make a bunch of drones instead, which actually puts him only even on workers, but...
He also did something with his layer just now I'm not too big of a fan of. Love Temp0, of course, not trying to get overly critical on him or anything like that, but with that one link in the main, he was going to clean it up. If he had just waited an extra second to make this a layer, like 1 extra second, the Ling wouldn't have seen it. But now Opiee knows about the layer timing, and he knows about the gases, so this is kind of like a dead giveaway. Guess what? It's probably going to be Mutalisks or something. But, oh, I take that back. Actually, without that 4th gas being taken, it is going to be Roaches, but again, for Opiee, it's all about the layer timing more than anything else.
Opiee is, interestingly enough, opting for a macro hatchery instead of a 3rd base, which is going to allow him to really power hard on 2 bases. He's actually going double upgrade Zerglings, and this is actually a build that Kane was using. Who was it against? Temple, I think. And basically what you do is you fake Roaches. You get the Roach Warren at the front to fake Roaches, and then all of a sudden, you just come at them with like 50, 60, 70, 1-1 Speedlings.
Well, Temple does have a Bailing Nest, so if that's going to be the case, he may be able to recover if he sees it early enough, but I do like how he's been putting a lot of effort into denying the 3rd. I think that's the 2nd drone he's just driven back. Killed the 1st one, of course, but...
I'm kind of surprised that Opiee actually wants to take this 3rd base. I was going to say it could be a fake, but it's not going to be. And with this many Lings up, he's going to go up to a total of 46 Lings to these 20, and probably push with those. And 46 is a really good number because it's just... With 1-1, if he surrounds the Roaches, it won't matter the fact that Temp0 has Roaches out. He's gonna die to the Lings. But if the Roaches are in a good position, he should be able to hold this, especially because he already does have a good number of them.
Oh my god, those Lings actually skirt past everything. Get to the main, and you see a lot more Lings coming out. You saw a lot of Lings as he bypassed them too. Roaches, absolutely, it's not even about fighting in a choke. The critical thing here is like kind of what you talked about. It's only if they get the surround can Lings actually fight against Roaches.
Problem here is that he may lose his 3rd, and he's going to be fine at the natural. This engagement is not the worst for Opiee, if he can get a pretty good amount of surface area on the Roaches at the front, but he won't be able to break through this. But the 3rd base is going to go down, and Temp0 forced to evacuate that now. What Tempo's going to have to do is he's going to have to push really hard and do
cancel the spine.
A lot of damage.
Opiee,
All right.
Yeah, Opiee, good fight from there for sure. Of course, not getting his own 3rd up till just recently. This knocks Temp0 back down to kind of ground level, so to speak. But he's got some Bailings out now. Dealing with these Zerglings will be less and less problematic, and a lot of this can come down to Opie's control.
Temp0 getting a little overzealous with a couple of these Roaches, but here come the rest to save their lives. Temp0 really just needs to go. He's making more units, rallying them forward, and this is definitely the right decision in my opinion. No, he's not. He's okay. There we go. He's just waiting. He's re-expanding, but he is going to push, and he needs to try to deny the 3rd base of Opiee now. Opie's still got a lot of Lings up with those Banelings in the composition, and with +1/+1 done to the Roaches, Temp0 is in an okay spot if he can do damage.
That's kind of the big if there, though. He's not going to have his back against the wall for this fight, not initially at least. That's what you really need to do to keep away from these Lings, but with the Banelings in the front lines, he's just going to let this charge forward. Those Zerglings are so tentative to connect. He sees those Banelings, and connections are good. All the Zerglings pretty much taken out at this point, and Temp0 trying to snap off a couple queens, but with a superior Roach count and no spine crawlers behind this is looking really bad for Opiee.
It really is. GG's called. Temp0 is going to take game number 1 in this series.